If you were born in the year of the tiger, 2026 is not just any year. And deep down, really deep down, you are already feeling it. A restlessness that has no name. A desire to tear something apart. A feeling that the space you occupy has become too small for what you carry. It is not a crisis. It is not a collapse. It is a calling. Now, before you think this is just another generic prediction video, let me ask you a different question. It is not what is going to happen to you in 2026. The right question is, which version of the tiger will appear when the fire knocks on your door? Because the fire horse, within Chinese cosmology, represents the greatest energy amplifier that exists. It does not create. It multiplies. It takes what is already inside you, virtue or vice, courage or impulsivity, genius or arrogance, and puts it on stage at maximum scale. Welcome, noble Templar travelers. For some signs, 2026 will be the most difficult year of the last decade. For the tiger? It could be the most powerful year you have ever lived. But only if you understand the difference between power and combustion. Dingwu, the technical name of the fire horse in Chinese cosmology. The character represents celestial fire, the fire of the sky, while is the terrestrial horse. When the two combine, the fire element appears in both pillars of the year, celestial and terrestrial. This happens once every 60 years. The last time was 1966. Historians call this cycle the year of extremes. In this video, I will show you 3 great lessons that the year of the fire horse brings specifically to the tiger. Not 10. Not 12. 3, because when you try to hold everything, you hold nothing. We will talk about the fire trinity, which explains why you and the horse have an alliance that few signs possess. About the greatest challenge that will test your structure. And about the life mission that 2026 will push you to face, whether you want to or not. But before anything else, if you were born in the year of the tiger, comment the year below. I want to know which generation of tigers is watching. In Chinese astrology, there is a concept called Sanhe, the harmonic trinity. It is an alliance between 3 signs that share the same root element and, therefore, mutually empower each other when they meet. The tiger is part of the fire trinity along with the horse and the dog. They are 3 forces that, when they align, create what the classic texts call the Great Movement. An expansion energy that breaks territorial, social, and internal boundaries. But here is the secret that most prediction videos do not mention. Within the fire trinity, each sign has a specific function. The dog is the receptacle, it sustains the fire. The horse is the flame, it radiates the fire. And the tiger? The tiger is the fuel. In terms of the 5 elements of Taoist cosmology, the tiger carries wood as its main element. And wood feeds fire. It does not just coexist with it, it is the raw material that sustains it and makes it grow. This means that, in 2026, the tiger is not just under the influence of the fire horse. The tiger is being called to be the generator of the flame. The source. What sustains the expansion that the year demands. In Imperial China, the relationship between wood and fire was not just metaphysical, it was political. The emperor's throne was built from aromatic cedar wood in position to the south, the direction of fire, summer, and expansion. To rule was literally to sustain the flame of heaven. The tiger, as a sign of wood, was seen as the advisor to the throne, not the emperor, but the strength without which the empire did not burn. Now, this brings an enormous responsibility. When you are the fuel, everything around you can benefit from your energy. But it can also be destroyed. The tiger carries courage, independence, instinctive leadership, and the impulse for territorial conquest. The fire horse amplifies exactly these qualities: movement, freedom, the desire for rupture, boldness. The affinity between the two is real, deep, and dangerous in the wrong dose. Dangerous why? Because when there is too much identification with the fire, the risk stops being a blockage and becomes an excess. For the tiger, 2026 does not tend to be a year of paralysis, lack of opportunity, or invisibility. It tends to be exactly the opposite, a year with excess stimulus, excess impulse, excess urgency. And that is exactly where the 3 great lessons of the year come in. Lesson 1: Territorial Conquest. The first great lesson of the year of the fire horse for the tiger is about territory. And when I say territory, I am not just talking about physical space. I am talking about professional, emotional, reputation, influence, and identity territory. 2026 can be one of the most favorable years for expansion that the tiger will live in the last decade. The alignment of the fire trinity, combined with the busy and unlocked nature of the horse, creates conditions for the tiger to advance in areas that were stagnant, visibility that was held back, and achievements that were waiting for the right moment. An opening to change position or field. An invitation to be seen in new contexts. A courage that suddenly seems available to make decisions you had been postponing. Bruce Lee was born in 1940, the year of the dragon, but his maximum ascent happened during a fire cycle. Son of a Cantonese father and a half-German mother, Lee was rejected by Hollywood studios for being too Asian and by traditional kung fu masters for teaching non-Asians. His response was to found his own system, Jeet Kune Do, and conquer a territory that did not exist before him. This is the archetype of the tiger under fire. Do not wait for permission to advance. Create the territory. But here is the most important lesson, where most tigers will fail in 2026. The fire horse will generate so many simultaneous opportunities, so many doors opening at the same time, that the tiger's instinct will be to try to enter them all. After all, the tiger hates losing territory. It hates seeing a chance pass by. It has a natural impatience with the slowness of situations. And this is exactly where expansion without a map becomes the greatest enemy. The tiger's strategy in 2026 should not be to break the power. It must be to channel the power. The difference between a fire that destroys and a bonfire that warms is not the amount of fire, it is the structure that contains it. In practice, this means one very specific thing: choose at most 2 great battles for the year. 2. Not 7. Not 4. 2. Which territory matters most to expand right now? Which is the battle that, if you win, changes the game for the next 3 years? Put all the tiger's energy there. And use the horse's fire as fuel for that specific movement, not as a lighter to ignite everything you find. There is a quote from the military strategist Sun Tzu that says something like, "Concentrate your forces. Victory goes to the one who knows where to apply the right pressure at the right time." This is exactly what the tiger needs to hear in 2026. It is not about having less courage. It is about having more precision. The second great lesson is uncomfortable. And for that very reason, it is the most valuable. The year of the fire horse will not only reveal the best of the tiger. It will reveal what is hidden in the oldest layers of your pattern, the mechanisms you developed to survive, which at some point worked, but that in 2026 will cost you dearly if you do not recognize them. The shadow side of the tiger in the year of fire is not weakness. It is an excess of misdirected strength. Let me be specific about how this shadow side usually appears. The first pattern is arrogance disguised as self-confidence. The tiger has a natural confidence that is genuine and often deserved. But when the fire increases, this confidence can cross a subtle line and become disdain for the perspective of others, difficulty hearing warnings, and a feeling that you see further than everyone around you. This version of the tiger does not learn from the environment because it is convinced that it already knows more than the environment can teach. The second pattern is impulsivity disguised as courage. Real courage considers the risk, evaluates the terrain, and acts with precision. Impulsivity acts because it cannot endure the tension of waiting. In 2026, with the fire horse creating a permanent urgency, the tiger will feel constant pressure to act now, decide now, break now. Most of these pressures will be false. The challenge is to distinguish the impulse that should be followed from the impulse that will cost you 6 months of reconstruction. The third pattern, and perhaps the quietest, is what I call automatic rebellion. The tiger has an intense relationship with freedom. This is a real quality. But in 2026, with the fire increasing intolerance to anything that seems like a limitation, the tiger may fall into the pattern of breaking bonds, structures, and situations not because they are genuinely harmful, but because it felt suffocated in a moment of heat. The fire horse favors the tiger, but it also reveals what in it is impatient, proud, and untamable. And the second great lesson of the year is, knowing this internal map is not weakness. It is the only way to avoid being betrayed by it. The third great lesson is where the tiger will find the greatest growth and also the greatest pain if not prepared. The tiger's relationships in 2026 will become more intense, more direct, and more revealing. The fire horse increases magnetism, the desire for truth, intolerance for lukewarm relationships, and the courage to say what was kept inside. This is powerful. And it has a cost. It can be a year of encounters that feel like destiny, of truths that finally come out, of bonds that are defined irreversibly. Blind relationships, partnerships based on convenience, friendships that were just habit, all of this will be tested. And here is the most delicate point of the year. The tiger needs to learn to differentiate real suffocation from necessary discomfort. Because not every tension in a relationship means that bond needs to end. Sometimes the tension is the bond asking you to grow within it, not to escape from it. The life mission that 2026 places before the tiger is exactly this: to mature the strength. It is not about becoming tamer. It is about becoming more precise. Courage that knows what to protect. Independence that does not need to destroy the other to assert itself. Sincerity that does not use truth as a weapon. In love relationships, 2026 will ask for a dose of honesty that the tiger rarely practices: strategic vulnerability. Not exposing everything, but allowing someone to see what is beneath the armor. In work and partnership relationships, the lesson is different but equally important. In 2026, the tiger will have a strong impulse to lead alone. To not depend on anyone. To do it faster because trusting the rhythm of others will seem impossible. But the greatest territorial achievements of the year will require allies. And allies do not follow someone who does not know how to share the credit. The antidote for the tiger in 2026 is not to put out the fire. It is not to become more cautious, more docile, or more moderate. The antidote is to learn how to sustain the fire without being dominated by it. The tiger in 2026 needs to be the bonfire, not the wildfire. The tiger in 2026 did not come to hide, but to act with total awareness of who you are and what you want to leave behind after the fire passes. Because the fire passes, the year of the fire horse will end. The tiger has everything it takes for 2026 to be the beginning of a cycle of achievements that will last long after this year. But only if you enter this fire with your eyes open. And tell me, are you already feeling this call for change for 2026? Which of the 3 lessons hit you the hardest? Comment below, and I will see you on the next journey. Bye.